Hello guys, welcome back to the new video. In this video we are going to provide the navigation to our app and the splash screen. What is navigation in Android development? Navigation simply means moving from one screen to another within an app. When your application has more than one screen, you need to define how users will move between these screens. For example, when a user clicks a particular button, the app should navigate to a specified screen. Similarly, when the user clicks the back button, the app should take them back to the previous screen. So in this project, we are going to use the official navigation library. So first thing, let's just move this main activity in our presentation package. And here in our presentation package, let's create one more package with the name navigation. First thing, let's create a new sealed class with the name routes. So here in this sealed class, we will specify the name of all our screens. So in our application, we will be having 5 screens. So let's just specify all those screens. So these will be our 5 screens. For defining some screen, I have used this data object. For some, I have used this data class. This is because whenever we need to pass the arguments also to that screen, then we need to use this data class. Otherwise, we need to use this data object. So here in this full image screen and profile screen, we need to pass the arguments also with these names. So that's why we are using this data class. And next thing, we need to annotate all these screens with the serializable annotation. So why we are using this serializable annotation? This is because the navigation library under the hood will use this Kotlin serialization library in parsing these arguments. So we need to specify all these screens with this serializable annotation. And next thing, in this navigation package, let's create one more file with the name navgraph. So here we will specify our navigation graph. So let's create one composable function with the name navgraph_setup. So first thing, we have this nav host. Here this nav host is coming from that navigation library, and we need to provide the nav controller. So let's create the nav controller here in our main activity. So instead of this home screen, we are going to use that navgraph setup here in this scaffold as the content. And here let's pass the nav controller. Now we can attach this nav controller here. Next thing, we need to provide this start destination. So start destination we are going to use as the home screen. So here let's use this routes class dot home screen. So this is the same class we created here in this routes file. And the nav graph we will specify in these parentheses. This is giving error because here we need to use the nav host controller, not this nav controller. And let's remove that unused import. And now it is not giving any more error. And this nav graph builder here we will provide through these parentheses. So in this nav graph builder, we need to specify all our screens. So we have this composable block. First thing, we need to specify for which screen we are going to use this composable block. So we are going to use this block for this home screen. So in this block, let's provide the home screen and also this view model. We can move this here. And this scroll behavior, let's pass it through these parameters. Now next thing, let's create that search screen. So here in this presentation package, let's create one more package with the name search screen. And here let's create a new file with the name search screen. For now, here let's just simply use a box layout with this fill max size modifier, and the content alignment will be the center. And here just let's use a simple text composable with the name search screen. Now we can use our search screen in that nav graph. First thing, we need to provide a new composable block. Here let's specify the route. So now we have specified two composable blocks for two screens. But here we need to specify how we can navigate from this home screen to this search screen. So here in our home screen we have this on search click. So whenever user will click on that search icon, so user should be navigated to the search screen. Here we can use this nav controller dot navigate. We have this function with the navigation library. One thing we need to provide is the route. So here we will use this routes dot search screen. So it will just navigate us to the search screen. Now let's run our app and see how it's working. So here we have our home screen as the start screen because we have provided this thing here, start destination as the home screen. Next thing, whenever we will click on this search icon, it should navigate us to this search screen. So let's click on that icon and here we are on the search screen. Now how we can navigate back to the previous screen? So this thing we have not provided yet. So let's go back to our search screen. So for now let's use an icon button here. So here we are using this arrow back, but this is giving error. So let's just replace this it with, and this on click we will provide through these parameters. So here let's use this on back click and let's attach it to this. And one more thing, let's align this icon button to the top start. Now we can provide this on back click functionality here in our nav graph. So on back click will be very simple. Again we need to use this nav controller and then we have this function called navigate up. This also comes with this navigation library, so it will navigate us to the previous screen. Now let's run it again. So here again let's click on that icon and we have this back button. It is not at the right place, so we can just move it to the center start. Now let's run it again. So here we have this back button, so let's click on this and we are on our home screen. So it is working perfectly fine. Next thing, let's give the navigation functionality to our favorites screens. So here again let's use the package and then new file with the name favorite screen. Again we can use the same content for this screen also. Only thing, let's change it to the favorite screen. And now let's use this screen in our nav graph. Again we need to use that composable block, and here let's provide the routes of favorites screen. So how we are going to navigate to this favorite screen? So whenever user will click on this fab button, then we are going to navigate to this favorites screen. So here again let's use this navigate function and provide the route. Now let's run it again. So when we click on this fab, so here we are in our favorites screen. So let's press back button, and here again we are on the home screen. Now next functionality we will give to our full image screen. So again let's minimize this and create a new package and a new file. So in this full image screen, there is one more thing we need to consider. Here when we navigate to this full image screen from that home screen, we also need to pass the image ID. So we can get the image from that particular ID. Let's pass that ID from here. And we will just use that ID in this text. And next thing, let's go back to our navigation graph. And here let's create one more block. So how we are going to navigate to this full image screen? So whenever user will click on this image, we are passing the image ID. So we can also check. Let's go to that home screen, and here in this image vertical grid, let's press Ctrl B, and here we are providing the image ID. Whenever we will click on this image, we will also pass the image ID from our image. So this image ID we will pass to the full image screen. So here we just need to use this nav controller dot navigate. We just need to pass this image ID to this navigate function. But first actually we need to provide the route. And here we need to pass the image ID like this. Now how we will get the image ID in this screen? We have this nav back stack entry. So here we will get the image ID. So we will get this back stack entry dot to route. We have this to route function. Only thing we need to specify the route where we have this argument. So here we are using this full image screen and place dot, and we have this image ID, and we can pass this image ID to this screen, and this on back click we can just simply copy paste this part. Now let's run our app again. So let's click on any image, and here we have this image ID in the next screen. Let's go back to the previous screen, and this time let's press some other image, and here we have our different image ID. So this is how we pass the arguments to the different screen. Now one more screen is there, that will be the profile screen, but for that screen we need to have the profile links. So we are not going to provide the navigation for that screen right now. Let's just simply make a blank composable block. So this was all for the navigation. Let's just close all these files. So next thing, we will implement the splash screen to our application. But what's the relevance of splash screen? First, let me show you the application. So let's open our application. So here you have noticed that there is some seconds of white screen in our app. This was because our application was taking the time in creating the layouts. So here what we can do, we can put a screen. So where instead of that blank white screen, we can show our app icon. So it will give us a branding of our application also. So for that, here first let's minimize this. And we already have added the dependency for the splash screen. First thing, let's scroll down, and here we have this value package in the resource package. So here let's right click and new value resource file, and the file name will be splash, and press OK. Here we need to define few things. First thing, what will be the name of this theme? So let's name our theme as this theme dot image vista dot splash. Let's use my splash. Let's also specify this parent theme. So here we need to specify the theme. So here let's use this theme dot splash. So it should know that this will be our splash screen. So first thing, let's provide the background. So for background color, we are going to use white color. And next, let's use the icon. For now, we don't have any icon, so let me paste one icon in our drawable package. So here is this icon we are going to use for our application. This icon I have generated through that image generator. You can generate your own icon, or if you want, then you can get this icon image from that GitHub repository. If you want to use your own icon, only thing you need to keep in mind is that this icon file needs to be PNG file. So this will give the transparent background. And another thing is your canvas size should be 3 times the size of that icon. So in my case, I use the icon as the 300 by 300 pixels. So when we multiply it to the 3, so we need to get the canvas size to the 900 by 900. So this thing we need to keep in mind. So let's specify this app logo here. So here like this. And one more thing, we need to specify that the post splash screen theme. So here we need to specify what will be the theme. It needs to apply after this splash screen. So here let's just use our main theme. So we have this main theme in our style package, this one. We can also see here we have this theme file, and let's close this. And this was all the things we need to specify here. Next thing, let's go to the manifest file, and here we can specify the starting theme. So starting theme will be our theme dot image vista dot my splash, this one. And we have already specified the theme here, so we can just remove from here. next thing, go to our main activity, and here we have this function install splash screen. So let's just use it here. Now we can run our app and see. So it was not shown. So again, let's start our app. So here we have this app icon as the splash screen. Let's open it again like this. Now one more thing we need to look. Let's first turn it to the dark mode and start our application again. So here we can see when we turned our app into the dark mode, that splash screen wasn't looking good. So for that we also need to specify the splash screen in the dark mode. So here let's just scroll down, and in our value package again let's create new file with the same name splash, but this time we are going to use that for the night mode and press OK. So here we have our splash screen. We can see this one is for the night, and here we can simply just copy all this, and only thing we need to change is this color. So instead of this white, let's choose this black color and run our app again. Let's close it and run it again. So here we can see we have this black as the background color of our splash screen. So this was all for this video. In the next video, we will look into how we can keep our API key at a secure place. And we will also look into the dependency injection. And when we click on any of this image, then we can preview the image. So these three things we will implement in our next video. If you found these videos helpful, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.